We've got a super thanks to get to begin today's show from Marcus Arnold. Thanks. The defense played bad, but this game is on the offense. More so, look at the play calling. He called plays like a starting offensive line, at least 18 points on the field. Chiefs debate the banded off Tyron 2 years ago. I do think that Mike actually called it more conservatively. Like, there was not much stuff downfield, and there were a couple of really bad reps where, like, oh no, Chuma Doga didn't block anybody. Like, what are you going to do? Like, that's not a play calling, it's an offensive line execution part, right? I do think the play calling was bad in the red zone. They moved the ball really well outside of it, but your O-line didn't block well run blocking-wise in the red zone. You can go back and look. There's contact made in the backfield. It's not a good thing. And your design, scheming, etc. wasn't good. I think you're too reliant on Lamb. Tyron's played well. He's played really well the first 2 weeks, but you've got to find a way to keep him healthy or have a better backup plan. All right, super thanks from D Warrior. We did edit a little bit from that perspective. I thought the run game was great, but overall the game plan seemed weak. He later clarified his spelling. Team is momentum-driven, and a West Coast system works well when you're up with the defense getting takeaways, doing their job, still doing these short passes. Got to scheme CD open more. Defensively got to support the run game. We've always had issues, but our hot takeaway defense mask it. Not wrong in that last part, too, by the way. I would almost say you're too reliant on scheming Lamb open, but defense is trying to take him away. That's fine. That's what they should be doing. Scheme Cooks. You scheme Gallup some. You have to be able to have more than just CD Lamb targets on third downs. You had one nice Cooks one. I think you have to do more. It can't all be Lamb in the slot. You should feed him, but you have to do more things on that side of the football. I'm still wanting more out of this McCarthy offense. All right, folks, you're seeing some super thanks here. It's a way to donate outside of live videos. Click the thanks icon, edit your message however you need to, and then send it in. We appreciate all of your support here, so if you do it, you of course don't have to, we will give you a shout out on every show that we can. 5 more super thanks from Austin Connor. I'm not a superstitious person, but I'm beginning to believe the Jimmy Johnson curse is real. Can we get fans to start randomly chanting Jimmy's name at home games? Feels like Jerry's ego couldn't handle that. He definitely could not. I love that idea. I don't know if you can get fans to do it. Everyone go to a game and try to, I promise you. Meanwhile, is the Jimmy Johnson curse real? You know, we're changing the 4 stars and the rumor heads to reflect Jimmy Johnson should be in the Ring of Honor. We're trying to bully the Cowboys. Do you believe, serious non-troll answers only, do you believe in the Jimmy Johnson curse? Y for yes, N for no. After Pawar, Mike McCarthy became Jason Garrett. Let Dak call the plays. The insistence on the run game does not disprove my the call was coming from inside the house theories that the Jones boys want to win football the way they want to win football, like we did with Emmett and Aikman and the Great Wall of Dallas, and run the football. Like, that scares me. Also, I'll say this, and like he's being positive here. In general, if your solution to your offensive woes are the quarterback has to call the plays, you got to get a new play caller in there. That's what that means. It means your coach ain't good enough. That's not that's a fine short-term solution. It's not a long-term one. Fargate 01, I think more Hunter Luepke blocking inside the red zone. He's been pretty good. I'm not opposed to it. I think he can have some success getting Luepke involved, even not just blocking, runs, catches. Like, you got to have some creativity. It's not just duo and boot actions. It's kind of all you've done so far in the red zone. I need more. And the one telegraphed Lamb option play, like, I need more, Mike. I need more. Chris B, I'm sorry, but even though we're down 3 linemen, don't take stuff out of the playbook. You really trust McCarthy's having a place to work out? Ain't no Shanahan. I mean, I don't trust the plays to work out. But not making adjustments is also how the Chaz Green disaster happened, where the Cowboys were like, we're just not going to chip and help. Had the chip and help with Chaz Green out there left tackle, and Adrian Campbell being on the same play every time. They didn't bench him until his game was over. So you do have to make adjustments. It's not an easy spot to be in. I do want to emphasize that, but certainly the results were not what the Cowboys were, what they needed to have. Now, if you want to have some fun and good results, check out the newest Cowboys Report sponsor. That is PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. You're not battling thousands of other players, pros, sharks, etc. You just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Make your game watching experience more fun with PrizePicks. Watch your progress update in real time and win up to 25 times your amount or your entry amount. You can also cash out with winnings, with quick scoring, settling, and withdrawals. They also offer weekly promotions to make it even more fun. And yes, by the way, folks, I am taking Ezekiel Elliott more than touchdowns this week in his revenge game. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Link will be in the comments and the description of today's show. But again, it's prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Moxie's mix into Cardinals for the Jets game and figured out how to stop him in the red zone. I mean, it probably helped, right? They flooded the zones. I don't want to take credit from like the Cardinals. Like that was really good. What they did, I think it helped. Cowboys, I thought, helped them as well. You know what I mean? Daniel Moriarty, after seeing what happened yesterday, and it's you need more help stopping the run, we desperately need another cornerback. Do you need another cornerback, by the way? We'll see if Pro Football Reference ends up with different numbers, but let me just read off the PFF coverage numbers and who got dinged for the yards, right? Your yards allowed leaders. Malik Hooker, 1 for 69, so they blamed him for the big pass play. J-Ron Curse, all 4 targets for 38 yards. Deron Bland, 2 for 26. It was a great catch by Marquise Brown, right? Stephon Gilmore, 2 of 4 for 25 yards. Jordan Lewis, 2 of 4 for 5 yards. Your safeties didn't play very well. So I'm looking at Hooker and Curse. I think you'll be okay with Lewis, Bland, and Gilmore. You have to be able to fit in the run. Honestly, I love this team's safeties. I thought they were a major liability for the first time in a long time against Arizona. For the truth, JC forever. Where are the drag routes with the wide receivers? I don't know. Run mesh one time. Now mesh tends to work better in man coverage, but you still have to pass it off in the zone. Run mesh one time. This team for years has despised mesh. I don't get it, man. If teams are going to kind of double Lamb, send them on the drag and bring Cooks underneath. One time. That's all I'm asking for. I think JC's right. I don't get it. I don't get it. Andrew, you must sign or trade for a starting offensive lineman, right? I mean, the problem is there's no starting offensive lineman available, and the trade options are who's out there. You're going to feasibly get. I'd love to get one. I also think the time to do that was 5 months ago when the Cowboys were like, we're fine. We don't need anybody. Matt Farnick's going to be our 6th offensive lineman, and he's on a practice squad for the worst team in the NFL in Chicago because he was so bad he didn't make the team. I think they kind of misjudged some of their own talent, and I don't know. I'd love to get one. I don't know who it is. So name a player who you want to trade for. Any player, doesn't be offensive line, by the way, it could be any position group. Go name a player who you would love to see the Dallas Cowboys get. Kevin the Destroyer, debacle in the desert. It says the odds are sponsor is amazing. Went 20-4 on football picks over the weekend. DC for life. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Michael Sutton. If we don't make it to the NFC Championship game this year, I think they let Dak go, and that's why he hasn't been extended yet. I think the main reason is Dallas doesn't like doing new deals with 2 years left on them. Very few examples of that. they've also dragged their feet consistently when players want the market rate. They'll pay in advance if you want to go less than. They didn't pay Lamb either when I would have loved them to, but he has 2 years left on his deal as well. But it leaves the door open, doesn't it? And with the way the Cowboys have handled the Dak contract, and they've handled it poorly, to be clear, I have to see it before I believe it, you know? Chris B. Tom, say the offense looks the exact same going into the bye week. Is there a chance of a play caller change, and who would it be? There is a chance of it, yes. Mike's ass is on the line this year. He has to win, and he has to win big. That's a high bar. It's probably not a fair bar, but it is the bar. If the offense continues to just be bad in the red zone, and it's because your O-line isn't blocking and you're calling bad plays, yeah. The answer, by the way, is Brian Schottenheimer. He'd be the next play caller. I don't know if that's necessarily a positive thing. Maybe it is. Try it if it's bad, or if it gets worse, maybe. I will say, you've moved the ball well outside of the 10. You know what I think about it? It's a perfect analogy for this Cowboys football team. They're actually awesome. They're one of the best football teams at getting to the 10-yard line on offense. They're one of the best football teams in getting into the playoffs. And then once they get there, it all falls apart for different reasons every time. The perfect analogy. Now, if you love our Cowboys mailbags, then subscribe right now. We'll have mailbags once a week on each of our live shows, this one being filmed, of course, on our Monday live show. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. For the truth, JC forever. Will Zeke run a little more angry this Sunday to get revenge on the Cowboys? I mean, I wouldn't be shocked by it. I am convinced Zeke's going to score a touchdown. That's why I took the more than on PrizePicks. I am convinced he's going to score at least one. Lance Dunbar's burner. You think Schottenheimer is more to blame or Mike? I mean, it's got to be Mike. To be honest, guys, Mike's had a scapegoat every year, right? It was Mike Nolan. Not every year, but close to it. It was Mike Nolan. It was Kellen. I think you're calling the plays. It's on Mike. We talked about it before the year began. If things don't go well, isn't that on the head coach who's taken over the play calling? Now, there might be some excuses why maybe that's not the case. Whatever. But that would be why. I would blame Mike. Abbas, thanks for everything. How about Garett Bolles? Not a bad one. Let me see what his contract status looks like here real quick. Denver's terrible, by the way. It's kind of a dumpster fire right now. He's sad in Denver, is what he is. It's about $14 million for Garett Bolles. That's tough. Denver probably have to eat some of it. From Steven, is Mazi Smith a bust? I think it is perfectly fine to be disappointed that your first round pick has played 40 snaps or something this year. That's not enough. But it's too early to call him a bust. So are you panicking over Mazi Smith? 1 for yes, 0 for no. I'm not panicking. He's a project player. It takes time. Disappointment's fine, but you got it. I'm not calling him a bust yet. Sound off for me. 1 for yes, 0 for no. Manster 54. Didn't look like they had too many receivers in the end zone. Looked like a log jam in the same spot. Spread them out. And there was the boot action plays all roll to the right. So, going to get crowded there. I'll take it one step further. There was nobody open. What do you want the quarterback to do if there's nobody open? Throw it away. Well, that's what he kept doing. Dustin Rushing. Cowboys need to use Deuce Vaughn more in the red zone more often. He's got 3 touches in the red zone in the preseason. Awesome first down catch, touchdown run, touchdown run. I don't disagree. Now, if we did not get to your question, our apologies, but there was so many coming in, we can't get to them all. You can always DM me on Twitter at whatgoingdowny. The Twitter handle link, or X, whatever we're going to call it, will be in the comments of today's show in the description as well.